Hello there everyone and welcome back to another Muunilinst mock update video. This is a very exciting episode because today I'm going to be working on the platform that the cannon sits on in the back half of the mock, so starting to fill out the remaining space on Muunilinst and working on this platform that the cannon is going to sit on top of. So overall, a very exciting episode, and without any further ado, let's get started. And last episode, if you recall, I worked on this cannon, and here is what we've got so far. I haven't really implemented any changes yet. I'm actually recording this episode back to back with the previous episode, so I haven't even uploaded. This is being recorded in advance, so I haven't been able to implement any feedback if you guys have had any yet. So in case you are wondering, this is like a pre-recorded episode, so that is why. But the big thing that I was left with last episode was realizing I need to build a platform for the cannon to go on top of, and the platform has to be pretty big because if you remember from the scene, Fordo and the guys jump up onto the platform and they have like a miniature battle on this platform. So there's like a platform surrounding the actual cannon, and it's built up pretty high and it's pretty large, so I need the platform to be really large. And I was just looking around at space and realizing that I don't really have much room to make more buildings besides the one I already made, because if you remember the plan a couple episodes was I wanted to have like 2 more buildings. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that because I started messing around with the size of the platform, as you can see right here, kind of making it an interesting shape and placing the cannon in the middle, and that'll be built up pretty high. And I realized there's not much room over on this side for any more buildings. So the tower, my goal, and we'll see when we get there, is from the edge of that platform to the edge of the base plates. That's kind of how long the building's going to be, because the platform needs to be at the bottom, like connected with the actual tower itself. So I want the tower to be from the end of that table all the way connecting with the platform. So that's a pretty big area. So in terms of space left over after the platform is built and after the tower is kind of all laid up, we've got this back portion in the back corner, and then we've got a little bit of room down over here. So we could put another building right here or in the corner. I don't want to put one all the way in the corner because I think the building's going to block it, or the tower is going to block that. So I don't know what's going to be back in that corner. Down over here, I might make the entrance. In the show, there was an entrance where you saw like all the droid speeder bikes start to like zoom out of like the tower. I might make that down here. We'll see about that. And then this small area all throughout here. What should I put here? So I was thinking and kind of looking around and wondering what to put here because I can't put a full building. I'm thinking of doing some sort of ruins area up here. I know there isn't really much battle damage going on besides this building throughout the city, but I really want something right here that is reminiscent of like some of the buildings you'd see on Renvar from like Battlefront 1. Kind of like these half-destroyed pillars. And I was looking at Muunilinst again, in the Battle of Muunilinst. Republic artillery is firing at this cannon and kind of hitting close to it. So I thought it'd be cool if the idea was some Republic artillery hit down here. So there's a bunch of like broken down structures with pillars, kind of like, I guess like Yavin 4 type structures where it's kind of like this, you know, masonry, like broken down, almost like, I don't know, like a fountain area maybe, or some sort of destroyed pillars. So my plan is to build a kind of bunch of these mini pillars using same color scheme as like the rest of Muunilinst here with light gray and sand green, and place a bunch of them like falling down sideways. Maybe there's a little bit of a structure still standing, kind of scattered all throughout this area and up over here. I think it'd be really cool if there's like some sort of firefight between the clones and droids. Maybe some clones stayed down here to cover Fordo and the ARC troopers as they went up, and there's like some sort of battle and like ruins going on down here. I think that would be really cool. So I don't know. That's kind of my preliminary plan right now, and I may get to that this episode. Otherwise, the main focus might be on this platform. So I've got these 2 objectives, this kind of ruins area and the platform for the cannon. Those are kind of the 2 things that I'm working on next, and I got to figure out what I want to do next, but probably going to be the platform right now. And that platform needs to be built up pretty high, so I kind of have to figure out if I want it to go taller than the buildings or not. So lots of things to consider, but now I've kind of got this layout starting to go now, realizing I'm not going to be able to build as many buildings as I thought due to how big the tower and the cannon's going to be. But for now, let's focus on the cannon and the platform because I've talked enough right now, so let's go ahead and start to get building. Alright guys, so I've started to work on the base of this platform here. Now so far I've only got it raised up 6 bricks. Now, I would like it to be a little bit taller, but I'm just not sure that's going to be plausible with how many pieces this is taking up to go any higher than 6 bricks tall. But essentially what I've done here is done the same design that I've done with all these other buildings, kind of on the bottom right there with the different designs of masonry brick and different plates, except for I've changed it up a little bit to make it dark gray and sand green instead of light gray and sand green. It's a little bit of a risk because it doesn't necessarily fit with the rest of the build in terms of the color scheme. But when looking at reference photos, you could say maybe it's light gray, but to me it looks dark gray. And the tower is of course dark gray, so I feel like the platform needed to be dark gray because it's all supposed to seem like it's one structure with the cannon and the tower. They're kind of one structure kind of put together, so I decided to go with dark gray. Hopefully it's the right decision. It's kind of hard to tell right now because it's just kind of standing there right now, but once I get the platform and the flat platform that I'm planning on doing on top of it, like the floor design as well as the cannon, hopefully it'll integrate a little bit better. So it's a little bit of a risk, so maybe it doesn't work and I'll have to switch to light gray, but in order to save pieces and to make it flow well with the tower, I feel like it needs to be dark gray. But maybe I'm wrong on that. I'll definitely have to hear what you guys have to say about it, but very similar design that I've done on all the other buildings with the sand green masonry and 1x2s, and pretty much that's the main design for all these kind of bottom layers right here, and I've kind of stacked them in interesting ways to create that effect. The other thing I've done is kind of offset a couple of the corners right there, and then there's the front if you can see it. I'll reposition here. Here's the front, same design as the sides right there, and the back. So those two back sides, since they're not going to be presented to the public, they are just bricks, so no details on the outside. A little bit of a cheap, or a little bit of a trick you could say, but when building MOCs for Brickworld, you do have to think about presentation to the audience. What's the audience going to see? What's the audience not going to see? And what's going to save you pieces that you can, use your resources elsewhere. So not using detailed pieces on that side allowed me to use detailed pieces on this side, or more detailed pieces on this side. So yeah, so this is all looking pretty much good right now. So again, I could build it taller, and maybe I will in the future, but I think for this episode right now I'm going to stick to 6 tall and like 6 bricks tall. And if I have extra pieces left over, then I'll go higher, and I could try to go higher, but I want to go 6 tall just to see what this looks like. Now next thing I need to do is the ground, or like kind of the top of it right here for the cannon to sit on. Couple different options here. I don't want to do tiles. I feel like I've done enough tiles in this MOC, so I want to do some sort of snot bricks, and I feel like a light gray platform will work best just because that'll blend better together with the rest of the buildings, and maybe that'll offset some of the dark gray. I could be wrong, but the first design I'm going to try is light gray, and if that doesn't work, then I'll try a dark gray, but I think I'm just going to try a light gray flat snot kind of floor and see what that looks like, and then put the cannon on top of that. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and try, and I'll update you guys once I have some more progress. Alright guys, so I did a lot more work here on this platform. First thing you'll notice is I did snot off studs not on top. The top portion of the build, there's still some gaps I have to fill in, but I'm going to have to fill those in next time because I am running out of time here before I got to head back to school. So this is kind of the last segment here for this video, but I'll go ahead and show you guys what I got done, and then I'll go ahead and put the cannon on top of the platform. So you guys saw all the stuff down here that was finished in that previous video clip of the masonry walls and everything like that. So one thing I did was add these I looked back at the scene again, and there was these kind of barricades that were kind of all over the place on top of the actual building itself. So I started to prototype some designs for type of barricades that you'd see on there. So there's one on each of the corners, and I plan on adding more, just some kind of ingot pieces and the 1x2 tiles, creating kind of a textured look for a little barricade that some droids can hide behind when they're kind of fighting and taking cover on top of the platform. Because I do want there to be a battle going on top of here, maybe Fordo, where somebody's going up to take out the cannon. Not too sure yet, but here's what I came up with for the actual platform itself. Again, not finished yet. You can see there's some gaps down here that I still need to fill out, but I've run out of time for now. Essentially, I went with a pretty simple design, just light gray, and then I did a couple patterns with the dark gray bricks, and I don't know how well you can tell, but those patterns are actually sloped. So these dark gray parts right there are actually slopes, and they're lined up in the opposite direction. I don't know how well you can tell. I'll try to get a little closer here. I didn't want to do just dark gray bricks because I felt like it would look kind of plain and boring. So those are actually slopes down there, and it should give it a little bit more texture instead of just having normal dark gray bricks. Don't know how well you can tell, but it gives it a little bit better texture than just normal bricks now that we've got slopes in there. But those are the two patterns I came up with right there. Another thing about this design, as I get it back into focus, another thing about this design is the cannon's going to go on top of this, so a lot of this will end up being covered, but this is kind of the design I went with. Pretty simple, straightforward, not too sure how I feel about it yet. I'm going to put the cannon on and kind of reassess things and see what it looks like, but I do need to finish these gaps, which will probably have to be next episode. But I'm going to go ahead and put the cannon on top right now. Alright guys, I have placed the cannon on the platform, and this is what we're looking like. It's looking really awesome. It's starting to come together. What I'm visualizing for the rest of the tower, and once this platform is finished, it's getting very close to what I would want it to be and what I was envisioning at the start of this episode, so I'm very happy about that. I've placed a few droids on there, and then I put some crates as well. I think it'd be really cool to have a bunch of those boxes and crates kind of scattered throughout the platform, maybe some like shell casings or ammunition that the droids are carrying and getting ready to place into the cannon, just some miscellaneous things to make the platform seem busy, like there's a bunch of work going on with the droids going to and from and placing kind of the ammunition in the crates or in the cannon. I just think there's a lot of cool details to be had on there, and then I just set up, of course, Fordo and the boys trying to get to the cannon. So the one thing I'm looking at this now is I really want this to be taller. I think the platform needs to be taller. The cannon has the scale that I think is appropriate for this build. Obviously, it'd be awesome to be bigger, but I think the scale is appropriate. And then once I put the clone troopers down there, I just feel like this needs to be taller and higher off the ground. So if I have time, I think I'm going to try to place a priority on building up this platform and making it even higher. I don't know, if I could do another 6 bricks tall, that would be awesome. So the actual platform itself would be double this size, then the cannon would be on top of it. I think that would be ideal. So we'll see if I've got time to do that, but I'm going to try to make that a priority. But here's what we've got here with the cannon on top. I tried to get it as close to centered as I could on the platform. But yeah, that's pretty much what I envisioned here with the cannon. Definitely let me know what you guys think. I guess I'll step back, give you guys kind of a different wide shot here of the cannon with the rest of the buildings. Another reason I want it to be taller is because I want it to be able to clear those buildings. As of right now, it's barely shooting over those buildings just because of the size. So the more I look at it, I think this definitely needs to be taller, and hopefully I'll have enough resources to do that. But yeah, I don't know, guys. It's just really cool to look at. I'm really excited that parts of Muunilinst at the back here are starting to come together because I was a little nervous when I announced that I would be expanding this. I didn't really know how it was going to go. So starting to get the cannon finished and this platform built up and even the back building over there, it's just starting to fill out, and I'm getting really excited now. Hopefully you guys like this platform. Again, let me know if you think the colors don't mix well. Like maybe I should switch to a light gray instead of dark gray on the bottom. But I really do think once the tower gets built in the back over here, that's going to be primarily dark gray, and then it has some like translucent red pieces as well. I think the gray in here is going to fit a lot better with that when there's more dark gray, but I could be wrong. But definitely let me know what you guys think about kind of this dark gray platform and what should I add to it. Very curious to see if you guys have any ideas on what I could add to this to make it a little better, because I think there's a lot of possibilities here, and I've been working on this quite frantically the past few days, so I haven't had too much time to sit back and think about this. So I'm really excited to get your feedback, and I don't know, I'm really excited to hear what you guys think and what I should add and everything like that. But here is the cannon. I guess I kind of can give some different views here. But yeah, this is really awesome, guys. I'm excited that everything's starting to fill out on the MOC. But like I mentioned in the previous clip, that's going to be it for progress on this episode. I've had a very busy weekend building here, building the cannon in this platform, but now I've got to head back to school. So definitely gonna, these are pre-recorded, so any feedback you guys have been posting, I'll get to those once I am able to return back home once the school year kind of winds down. But for now, this is the amount of progress I was able to get done while I had some free time to come back home from school. So I'm really happy with the cannon and the platform itself, and I really look forward to hearing your guys' feedback. But that's going to be it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed all the progress on these past 2 episodes. I've been getting really passionate about this and having a ton of fun working on the cannon in this back section of Muunilinst, and there's still so much more left to do, and Brickworld is quickly approaching, so it's very exciting stuff. And there's still so much more left to do in this back section with the tower and like the rubble that I was describing earlier, kind of the ruins down here. I think it's all going to come together really well, and Brickworld is so close, just around the corner, so got to get to work and keep grinding on this MOC and making sure I get it done on time, but I'm having so much fun. So that's about it, and let's go ahead and move on to the outro. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you did enjoy. I had a lot of fun designing this platform and putting the cannon on top of it. Like I said, ideally I would love to make this platform larger, a little bit taller. It'd be really cool to make it double the height, and twice as high as it is right now, but we'll see how many pieces I have left. And we're actually coming down to the wire here with Brickworld fastly approaching, so I may not be able to get to that. We'll see. For now, next episode, I think I'm going to focus on starting the tower itself, because I really need to get started on that in order to get it done on time. So stay tuned to the next episode of Muunilinst, where I'll be beginning the actual structure of the tower, and it should be very, very exciting. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, leave your feedback in the comment section below. Hope you guys have a great day, and may the force be with you always.